Today's topic of discussion is how to approach women. So I see a lot of wrong information on the internet when it comes to approaching women. A lot of guys, what they're doing is they're going on the streets and then they're approaching women and then they're using all these chat up lines. You know, they're trying to use this Riz, you know, that's all beta male stuff. And they're just piling on validation. And the woman's just like giggling and she's laughing, and then they're using these weak beta chat up lines, and it's just all unnecessary. So I'm going to show you guys a general guideline and then how to effectively approach a woman in pretty much the best way that you can do it whilst maintaining masculine frame. So first point is you want to use an icebreaker. So an icebreaker can be, for example, you see a woman, right? So let's say before you even get to the icebreaker, anytime you're speaking to a woman or you're looking at a woman for, let's say, speak to her for marriage purposes, you always want to have the intention of relationship for long term. So when it comes to marriage, it shouldn't be a situation where you're just looking at, oh yeah, let me just hook up with her, or, you know, let me just try and use her. Like, I don't promote any of that type of stuff. Like, if you're trying to look for that kind of content, there's loads of YouTube channels out there talking about that filth. You know, myself, the way I approach women, you know, I approach women who of value, women who are like practicing Muslim women, you know, women who are not promiscuous. So those are the kind of girls that I'm looking to have a relationship with. I'm not trying to speak to any of these other girls who are just not marriage material. So keep that in mind, guys. Like, if you're gonna look for them kind of women there, or you're looking for one night hookup, then there's plenty of other channels that do that. So with the icebreaker, right, it can be as simple as, so when you see a girl, right, she, let's say, is dressed modestly, she's behaving correctly, she looks like she's somebody of value, you just strike a conversation, you speak to her and you like tell her first, hello, how are you? So that's a simple one there. And then you want to maintain eye contact with her, just direct eye contact. You don't want to be all nervous and stuff like that. So a lot of guys, what they'll do is they'll speak to her, and then women straight away are very, very socially aware. So they can straight away tell whether this guy here, his confidence is not really there, or if he's done it before. So if a guy's done it, like, let's say 1,000 times, 500 times, or whatever the case is, a woman knows, you know, this guy here, he's got high amount of confidence. So with a high amount of confidence, it's flowing. It's not going to be, oh yeah, first point, second point, third point, fourth point, fifth point. You know, you don't want to get into that habit of just like, oh, you're following a step-by-step guide, and then you're trying to use it on a woman. A woman just clocks on. You're just like, this guy here is robotic. So it needs to be flowing when you're having a conversation. So when you start off the conversation, you don't want to be looking at her in a lustful way or anything like that. So it's very direct and straight. So you tell her, hello, how are you? And she'll be saying, oh yeah, I'm fine, thank you. How about you? So then you say, oh yeah, I'm good as well. And let's say if it's just on the street, right, you just seen a girl, or if it's at some sort of, let's say, car phone warehouse. So that's an example, isn't it? Yeah. So let's say I've approached a girl here at car phone warehouse. Yeah. She's working in there. She seems like an attractive girl, and then you can strike up the conversation. You be like, oh yeah, hello, how are you? And she say, oh, I'm good. Then you say to her, oh, I'm trying to find, let's say, the nearest Starbucks or something like that. And she'll be like, oh, you know, I don't know if there's a Starbucks around here, or I think it's down there, or down there on the right hand side. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So you just be like, oh yeah, I'm meeting a friend down there, and right now I was looking at some phones or something, and be like, oh yeah, this phone here. So which phone would you recommend? So then it starts to flow. So the conversation's flowing then at that point there. So you want to get her to engage more, and you want her to speak to you a lot more. So then with that, right, you're being direct in your communication. So you don't want to be indirect, and you don't want to be the type of guy who's just coming across as, oh yeah, this guy's trying to use Riz, or trying to use these chat up lines and that type of BS. Like, that's not masculine, and women aren't attracted to that. You know, her desire will not go up in the long run. So temporarily a woman might start giggling and stuff like that when it comes to these chat up lines, but a woman ends up despising these guys later on. That's why women complain about, oh yeah, there's no men in today's society. It's because men ain't masculine. So with your direct communication, speaking to her, and then what you're doing is you're maintaining effectively masculine frame. So you're not over communicating, you're not showing needy behavior, you're not showing that, oh yeah, you're looking at it in a lustful way, you're not trying to pursue a relationship with her. She needs to be trying to pursue a relationship with you. Do you understand? So in that sense where she's trying to lock you down, you should never be trying to lock down a woman, because that goes against a woman's nature. A woman's nature is to be dependent upon the man and to seek out a man for survival, not the other way around, where a man is looking for a woman and he's like, oh yeah, I really need to, get this woman for my survival. That's not how it works. So you want to maintain masculine frame at all times, and this is going to take time to develop. So through your personality, your confidence, your internal, so you want to outshine all these other guys with your internal value. So that's really important. And then you're just giving her like a little taste of it. So a little taste of your value. So you're maintaining masculine frame. You show that you got a high amount of confidence through your body language, and you're not showing that you're trying to over pursue and trying to chase her. So woman clocks on, right, this guy here clearly has a bunch of other women that he's spoken to. He's done this before numerous times, and this is what it is. You guys need to get the reps in. It's going to need to be approach after approach after approach after approach, and then you get to the point where you're comfortable speaking to women. So one of the ways is, like, you can speak to, let's say, men. You want to try and be more engaging with the guys, so then you'll be able to move on to women as well. So then with the women, you'll be able to have conversations with them. I'm not talking about you being batty or anything like that. You're not trying to be like a batty man. That's how, I'm not trying to say like, oh, chat up guys. I'm just saying as in you're just speaking to guys, so then that way that you're able to speak to men and women as well. So you want to be able to speak to all types of people. So that way that will help you build up your confidence, and then you'll be able to get more masculine frame. You'll be able to maintain your masculine frame by doing that as well. So you want to give her a taste of your value. So one of them is, for example, with the contact details, right? You want to say, oh, okay, so let's say you're working on your purpose. You've got social media, yeah? So I'd recommend just giving social media rather than the phone number. If you want to do phone number, you can do that. Let's say you're not really active on social media, or you haven't really got anything going for yourself on social media, or you're not really posting content, then I'd recommend the phone number. If you're somebody who's providing value to society, you're creating content videos, then what you can do is you can give, for example, the Instagram. So with Instagram, right, you tell her, oh yeah, are you on Instagram? Do you have an Instagram? And then she'll be like, 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. So she'll be saying, oh yeah, I do. So as long as you've been doing everything else correct, and you've been speaking to her in the proper way, that you're not coming across as trying to be forceful with it, or it needs to be flowing with a woman. Does that make sense? So it's like, that's where their chemistry comes in. So you tell her, oh yeah, have you got your phone on you? And she'll be like, oh yeah. And then this is what it is. You want to get her to type up your Instagram. So with your Instagram, you just tell her, look, or you can just get the phone from her as well certain times. So with certain girls, right, I'll just be like, oh yeah, pass me your phone, yeah? And I'll type in my Instagram account. Do you understand? And then you can just press follow. So then with that, right, they press follow, and then even if they don't press follow, or whatever the case, you just press it yourself, and all your content's going to be on there. So that right there is going to show to a woman later on. So once you've stopped speaking to her, she's going to be checking your social media then. She's going to be seeing the type of content that you're posting, your personality, your confidence, who you are as a man, your internal value. And that's what it is. You want to shine with your internal. Do not shine with the external. So money, status, materialism, because that woman there, she'll just be treating you as an ATM machine then. Do you understand? You want to create content based off of internal value rather than external content. So that's really, really important, guys. So with the contact details, she's got your social media now, she's got your Instagram, and then you can let her know that, okay, look, when it comes to the ending part of it, you want to end it always on like a high. So you don't want to drag this on for like 10, 15, 20 minutes. This shouldn't be lasting more than like 5 minutes or so. 5, 10 minutes. It shouldn't be lasting more than that. So about 5 minutes or so, got the contact details, and then what you do is, once you've got a social media, then you can hit her up with a message later on down the line. So with a message, right, you want to just let her know that, I'll probably what I'll do is I'll make that in a separate video when it comes to hitting your first message to a woman. Right now we're strictly talking about how to approach women. So you want to just maintain the masculine frame, guys. You want to be direct in your communication. You do not never want to be indirect in your communication. You want to use, for example, you can use an icebreaker. So one of the basics ones is like, hello, how are you? And then, get her name as well. That's really important as well. So get her name right, and then she says, oh yeah, my name is, let's say, I don't know, what's a Muslim name? Maryam. So Maryam, my name's Maryam, and she'll be like, oh yeah, she'll say to you, oh yeah, what's your name? And then you tell her, oh yeah, my name's Omar. So then you strike up the conversation, then you talk about whatever you want to talk about. So once you got the contact details, and then you can hit her up with a message. So yeah, that's what it is. So icebreaker, direct in your communication, maintain masculine frame at all times. Do not be that type of guy where you're just trying to show, oh yeah, I'm trying to show to you, I'm trying to sell myself to you. Never sell yourself to a woman. You know, a man of value never sells himself to a woman. A woman of value, when she sees a man of value, and when a woman, pretty much all women, whenever they see a man of value, right, they know within themselves, so subconsciously and biologically, that this guy here is not going to try and sell himself to me. It's going to be the other way around, but a woman's going to be trying to get his attention and get his validation. So that's really important, guys. And then you just want to give a little bit of your taste of your value. So that's what it is. So masculine frame. So with masculine frame alone, you're going to be able to provide her with that sense of value there. Do you understand? You're not going to be trying to show, oh yeah, I'm really this alpha male kind of guy, or I'm really this masculine type of guy. Like, nah, you show that through your body language, not through like talking. A lot of these guys, they like to talk a lot of rubbish, but when it comes to actually approaching women, these guys here, they just flop, they fail, they get promiscuous women. And then you want to just get her contact details. So then once you got the contact details, then you can arrange a meeting later on down the line. So that's pretty much wrapped up for how to approach women. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.